Hello, and welcome to the content overview for Gravity 2, a sequel to our legendary Gravity instrument, which will continue to push the boundaries of modern scoring and composition. Gravity 2 builds on the iconic Gravity sounds and propels it forward into exciting new sonic realms while providing some powerful upgrades to the user experience and workflow, so that you can take the sounds of Gravity 2 and let them take you on a creative journey. Gravity 2 ships with more than 1,000 discrete sound sources housed in an all-new Gravity 2 engine using Context 7, and presented in over 600 snapshots that combine all of the sound sources and the powerful functionality of the engine to create ready-for-scoring snapshots that will eliminate any friction between discovering the instrument and getting your creative juices flowing. Let's take a look at what's inside. Gravity 2 is split into 5 different source categories. These are the rhythmic pedals, textures, stings, transitions, and impacts. All of these sources were created and curated to suit the modern scoring sound and are easy and readily available to you via our new state-of-the-art source browser page, which allows you to load and combine different source categories to accommodate your own unique workflow. And they're all intuitively organized to enable rapid access to the sounds you're looking for. The rhythmic pedals consist of a whopping collection of 144 playable loops designed to provide a rhythmic backbone whilst injecting plenty of character into your compositions. Both straight and triplet fields were further curated into low and high ranges with distinct loops that can be mixed and matched to create unique patterns and combinations, giving you powerful rhythmic devices that can range from simple and subdued to complex and aggressive. These multi-sample loops can be loaded in banks of 12 single notes for easy audition and selection, or as single-layered sources that spread across the keyboard. And while we're confident that the sources themselves will keep you busy for a good while, it is the way in which the pedals can be performed, mangled, and programmed in the engine that really makes Gravity 2 a rhythmic powerhouse. In the settings page of the Gravity 2 Designer, you'll find the legato function, which, when enabled, essentially allows you to seamlessly change the pitch of the playing loop without interrupting its playback position and without any degradation in the audio. This means you can create really interesting rhythmic lines with low pedals. Or chord changes that follow the music. In the performance page, you'll find the wave window, where you can alter the start time of each loop, as well as the playback speed by either halving or doubling its rate, which is particularly useful when combining multiple rhythmic sources. And when you feel the need to take the loops to that extra level, you can remix them using the sequencer window to enable a fully programmable, slice-based playback engine to create new permutations of the original loops. The textures in Gravity 2 are sustained loop sources that provide color and, you guessed it, texture for your compositions. These evocative mood builders have been divided into 3 types: tonal, atonal, and modal. The tonal textures have a clear pitch center that makes them ideal for melodic and harmonic uses. These are great for anything from pads lead lines, and even arpeggiated textures via the sequencer page. The atonal textures contain more inharmonic content, which obscures the tonality. These are ideal for setting up eerie and dissonant atmospheres. And finally, the modal textures, which are largely chordal beds that have a very clear harmonic implication in minor and major tonalities. You can refer to the source description labels to learn about the type of harmonic structure that each source is built around. The stings category consists of over 250 single-shot sounds that provide sonic identity to your compositions. The hybrid types are sources produced and refined using our signature sound processes to create memorable tonal and atonal identifiers. The organic types, as the word might suggest, have a less processed quality to them, preserving more of the essence of their source sounds. And lastly, a dynamic collection of guitar effects are included, offering a truly unique range of ambient distorted accents. The transitions category contains tempo-synced sounds that will help you add momentum to your tracks. These also come in tonal and atonal variations and are further sorted into low and high for easier reference. The reverses and swells feature a 2-bar timbral and dynamic growth to the apex of the sound, where the reverses will then abruptly stop while the swells provide a decrescendo before tailing away. The 36 risers deliver 4 bars of a pure adrenaline-inducing rush, providing a great way to make that final statement into a nasty sub-drop. The final category in the list is our impacts. These 36 earth-shattering, melt-your-face hits provide punctuation and weight to your tracks. We have provided the 3 layers for each of the sounds, the sub, mid, and tail in separate samples, so that you can mix and match them, or to craft partial impacts like sub-accents or tail incidentals. For the full experience, just load a bank of full impacts. The Gravity 2 engine is our most powerful engine to date. It is a true re-envisioning of our philosophy at Heavyocity, which is to empower you to take these sounds and make them your own by providing the right tools for the job at hand. Gravity 2 ships with 3 instruments, which are designed to meet the demands of 2 very clear workflows. The Menu and the Menu XL are bank-based instruments that allow you to load up a whole collection of sources, each assigned to individual keys, where each key can be tone-shaped individually, and which can be then expanded to the full keyboard once you've found the sound that you like using the expand function above the keyboard diagram. The Designer instrument, on the other hand, is built to allow complex layering of sources and creative applications of the engine to take the source material to the next level. The Menu instrument allows you to load 3 banks per instance, whereas the XL version is programmed to host 72 sounds or 6 octaves at once. Choose the one that suits your workflow best while optimizing the memory impact of each instance in your system. To provide the least amount of friction between creativity and creation, the menu instruments allow you to quickly dial in filter and EQ settings per key, so that you can easily tweak each note, as well as a waveform display that allows you to edit the sample start time and playback speed of your tempo synced sources. We've included a very handy start time sync function that will snap the start time to the nearest subdivision so that you can keep all of your rhythmic sources in sync while editing their start point. The macro page allows you to dial in global effects modulated via the macro knob, which is hardwired to the mod wheel or CC1. Each page has a user-definable range by which the macro knob affects it and can be easily visualized in the interface as the macro knob is modulated. These effects include an ADSR envelope with individual macro control assignments, tone page featuring a global filter with a drop-down filter type selection and 2-band EQ, drive page with 3 flavors of saturation and distortion, motion page with a gate and a pitch table, both of which can either be tempo synced or free rate for maximum control, and space page with delay and reverb. To further endow you with modulation capabilities, there is a macro sequencer table that allows you to program the movement of the macro knob, as well as a macro LFO that modulates the current position of the macro knob by a user-definable amount for each category individually, which can be free running or tempo synced and can be offset using the phase spread. To finish off the tonal shaping of your instrument, there's a Master Effects tab that allows you to dial in a custom signal chain of effects by rearranging the order of each process, which includes our revamped signature punish process in its 3 intensities: Gently Now, Hurt Me Plenty, and Nightmare Mode. The Gravity 2 Designer takes the menu instruments a step further by providing 3 independent channels, each with its own set of effects and mix controls to craft more complex tones and sounds. You can craft rich and evolving textures using the 3-channel mixer by automating the position of the orb to create complex morphing blends between the 3 channels, or craft uniquely randomized mixes by adding drift and scatter to the position of each played note, which will create a progression of channel blend modulation for each played note independently. The macro sequencer in the Gravity 2 Designer is identical to the menu instrument, except it has the ability to influence each channel individually. This can be achieved in each individual effects page, selecting the channel you want to edit. Each of the 3 channels have individual assignments so that you can create different amounts and direction of modulation, or you can link between all 3 and control them as one. You can also copy and paste the values of each effect across the channels to optimize your workflow as you work on your sounds. The Waveform page displays the controls for start time and playback speed for each channel, as well as the sequencer option, which turns each channel into a step sequencer. This is unique to the Designer instrument, and it allows you to create rhythmic sequences out of your sources by programming the playback rate, velocity, and start time of each event. The sequencer is ideal to create rhythmic beds or arpeggiated sources out of any sustained texture, as well as being an incredibly powerful tool to recompose and remix all of your rhythmic pedals included in Gravity 2. With over 1,000 sources in Gravity 2, and the endless ways one can combine them in the engine, we thought it might be helpful to provide you with preset snapshots that are pre-programmed combinations of the sound sources and creative applications of the onboard effects to help you make the most out of your instrument. For the Gravity 2 Designer, you'll find 8 different categories of snapshots. The cue creators are creative and inspiring presets that combine different types of sources to create exciting rhythmic moods and inspiring ambient moods, and a handy collection of accents and endings to quickly shape your tracks. The rhythmic beds are creative combinations of the rhythmic pedals in Gravity 2, powered by the tone shaping capabilities of the engine to give you instant rhythmic inspiration to add groove and movement to your music. The tonal, atonal, and modal textures are meant to provide sustained color palettes, showcasing the true power of the 3-channel mixing of Gravity 2 Designer instrument. The stings are mostly made up of bank stacks of different source types to create truly distinctive tonal signature sounds to arm your tracks with a voice of their own. The transitions are a mixture of creative and utilitarian presets that give you access to more interesting transitional elements using the transition sources as well as some cross-pollinating from other sources to expand Gravity 2's sonic footprint. And lastly, the impacts category combines the different impact sources as well as other unique sounds to create custom impacts which can provide an extra layer of color to your hits. For the menu instruments, you'll find two main types of categories. The menu style snapshots are ideal for instant access to entire sound categories like transitions or stings. Here, you can load in a single snapshot all of the content of a particular category, or, in the menu Excel, a combo of different source types that were curated to provide a particular sonic palette. The other type of snapshots feature a single source that is optimally mapped so that you can experience the full range of each individual sound and have it ready to go. These single sources are identified with their root node position in the menu counterpart for easy access. Remember that you can always access the single sources via the expand function of the menu presets, or conversely, you can revert back to the full menu from any of the individual sources if you wish to go back to the menu style layout. To purchase Gravity 2 or to check out more tutorials and audio demos, please visit Heavyocity.com.